Hello, this is Craig Mertens, Director of Product Education for Inktavo, the parent company of InkSoft, Graphics Flow, Printavo, Sign Tracker, and Clarity. We've expanded into the UK with our acquisition of Clarity, sign making platform. We're going to get right into the deepest parts of the application, and I'm going to show you guys how to build a campaign around corporate stores. And the idea here is to tie this in with the Trend Watch webinar that we did yesterday. And so you can go to the inksoft.com. You can scroll down and hit the YouTube link. You'll see partner webinars in there, and you can watch the corresponding partner webinar for TrendWatch, where we talk about the mechanics of actually selecting the product and the campaign and the sales process and the pitch and all of that. But at the end of the day, we have to create the stores that go around that campaign. And that's what we're going to do today. And before I even get started, I want to talk a little bit about product and how we get product into the stores. And so let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll walk through that. So I'm in the InkSoft dashboard, and what I want to do is I want to have a set group of products that go into the store. And as part of that, one of the things that we manage within InkSoft is we manage what we call our product catalog. So the product catalog is the curated collection of products that I frequently use in my stores. And that product catalog allows me to move those products into a new store when I create one, but also allows me to selectively select whichever stores those products want to go into. And so in order to do that, I have to first add them from a supplier catalog. And I'm going to go ahead and add a product from a supplier catalog so you guys can kind of get the gist of how that works. So once I'm in the InkSoft dashboard, I'm going to go over here to InkSoft Core, and I'm just going to select product. And a couple things first off. So if I go to manage product over here, these are all the products that I've added to my catalog. So I would only be searching for products within my catalog. So if I came over here and I said, I'd like to see all the products that are in my catalog that are currently assigned to my main store, which is Blue Shirt Printing, I can just hit apply. And I can see any products that I've applied and added to my main store. And if the product is inactive, like for instance, this is inactive, it's going to show up in red, meaning it's in my catalog, but I don't have it active in the store. So I can go and filter and search by stores, by supplier, by manufacturer. I've got a lot of filtering options. And if I wanted to, I could just, look at everything. So if I came over here and I wanted to see everything for all suppliers, just check them all, hit apply. And this is everything that's in my catalog. So just because it's in the catalog does not mean it's assigned to my main store. And where that gets confusing is when you add a product to InkSoft using the add new product feature, it automatically adds it to your main store. And in that case, what you want to do, if you don't want it to be in your main store, you just want to disable it from that store. We'll show you exactly how to do that. So in other words, products can exist in the catalog without being applied to any store. And just incidentally, I could go over to this product right here, which is actually a nice little, looks like a Oxford, and I could click on it and I could see what stores it's in. So see all the basic information. Here's the description. I can change that. Here's all the weights for all the different sizes. Here's the size range. If I didn't want to have 4X in there, I could turn that off. Maybe I only want to take it up to 3X. It's got an option for back and left sleeve printing, which means there's images here for back and left sleeve. And I can see that it's available for quantity discounts. And I can also see it's available for the online designer. Now, if I did not want to include this in the online designer, and if I also didn't want to enable the client to purchase it blank, I could check that. And another thing I want to be able to do here is select what category it's going into. So it's going into the dress shirts category. And here's the store it's applied to right here. And so if I scroll down, it's in one store, it's in this Fight for the Cure store right there. So if I want to apply that to another store, I could go ahead and select Blue Shirt Printing and apply that to my main store if I wanted to. So the product is in the catalog, but it's only applied to that singular store. Now I could globally go in here to select all these and apply that product to all my store. But bear in mind, if I have design online checked over here, what's going to happen is that shirt's going to show up in my online designer, and I might not want it to do that. Now, a couple other things down here in terms of printing capabilities. I'm going to turn on different printing capabilities for this product, and I'm going to turn on embroidery. But in this case, we're not going to screen print this product, and we're not going to do any digital printing on it. So it's only going to be available for embroidery. It doesn't really hurt to have these other processes available, but where that is going to come into play is it's going to come into play when I go and add products with the Rapid Product Creator. So for instance, I want to add embroidery to this product in the Rapid Product Creator to add it to a store. If I don't have embroidery checked, I'm not going to be able to upload a DST file and apply that. It's going to be limited to print files. So here's that product. I actually like these changes. And so I'm going to go in here and just save it because those are good changes. I might use that product later on. It's giving a little confirmation that says product saved successfully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new product to my catalog, and then we're going to go back and add it to the store that I'm about to create. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say add new product. And I'm going to say from supplier catalog. And I'm going to add a product from SNS Activewear. So we'll go over here and I'm going to add one of the products from one of their manufacturers. So I'm going to select manufacturer and I'm looking for independent. And so I'm going to scroll down here. We're going to find independent trading right here. I'm going to hit apply and there's a bunch of new products. So the product I'm really interested in is this quarter zip. We featured this in the webinar yesterday, but I didn't have it in my store, so I couldn't use it in my store. So I'm going to go ahead and add that product. So I'm going to click on this and say, little add right here, hit OK. And so we've added, and I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking in here with these settings. So I'm going to go over here and under categories, I think I'm going to put this under dress shirts. And then I'm also going to put it under polo shirts. It's not really a polo, but I think people would, have a tendency to look for that under polos anywhere. And you can see it's currently under my main store, but I want to apply this to two different stores. I want to apply this to the store that I created for Stratos Financial, which is the tech store I built. We're going to apply it there. And then the other store was Fortify Cybersecurity. So we're going to go over there and we're going to select that. Fortify Cybersecurity, and I am not going to allow it to be made available for designing online, and I'm going to enable digital print, why not, screen print, and embroidery. As far as ink palette, that will only apply if we're in the online designer, and so I am going to go and just do our standard digital colors in there, which is a really good color palette, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then on this, I'm getting a little warning message saying that print regions were not supplied. So a lot of times from suppliers in their feed, they'll provide print regions that will automatically assign to the product. But in some cases, the print regions aren't there from that supplier. And that's the case here. So super easy to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to print regions. And I'm going to create a new print region. And we're going to call that print region left chest. So we'll go down here and spec for left chest is 4 inches. I could create my own spec that's smaller. I'm going to go ahead and select 4 inches as the height. We're going to call this left chest. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and say draw region. Now I could just put the width in here. I want to be very specific where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to click on draw region here. And that's going to pull up the image. And then I'm going to set my print region here. Now this is really, really important. If you are going to be adding embroidery here, you want to make the print region as accurate as possible to the overall scale of the image, because these images, we have measurements, we have scale for these. And so when I bring in a DST file, DST files can't be resized like a regular graphics file. If you take a DST file and you make it slightly larger, it's opening the stitches up, so it doesn't look so good. If you make it smaller, it's tightening up those stitches so you could actually get a thread break when you're sewing it. So when DST files come into InkSoft through the Rapid Product Creator, they're going to come in at the scale. They're going to come in at the actual size and scale to the blank. I'm going to make it as accurate as possible, and I feel pretty good about where it is right there. There we are. I could put a fixed width in here if I wanted to, and I could go down here and add the left chest fixed width in here, but I really don't need to worry about that. It's ready to roll. All I have to really do here is at this point is hit save. And now that the print region's in there, guess what? It's telling me that the product's been saved. Now I can also go over here to stores and we'll go over here to stores. And here's the 3 colors that are available, but I can assign this to specific stores. So if I wanted to assign maybe just the smoke color to Fortify, what I would do is I would just go over here and turn those off. Or maybe I want to go to the other store it's assigned to, Stratos, and have just these 2 colors and turn the pine off. Don't want to have the green available. So on a store level, you have a lot of latitude on that, but I like the way this looks. So that product is now in my catalog, and that product is now in 2 stores. And what I can do, if I just want to take a look and see what's going on with the product, what I can do is go over here and select by manufacturer and go down to independent, and then we can see all the products are independent, including my quarter zip. And independent's a great line. SNS does a phenomenal job with that. You know, the pigment dyed shirts, I'm a big fan. I like the color range. I like the way they feel. They've been pre-washed. Independent recently added their t-shirt, their premium pigment dyed t-shirt. Looks like there's 8 colors there. It's really a fun look. It does have kind of that resort wear feel, so it lends itself to doing graphics that are, you know, more colorful. You know, you have a lot of jewel tones in there, so you do some interesting things with inks and thread colors, and you really couldn't ask for a better blank color to decorate on than that kind of natural color there. Because you put just about any color on it, it looks great. So that's how you would kind of look at products. And again, if I wanted to assign this to another store, what I would do is I would just click on the product, and then I would go down here and just pick that other store and assign it. In fact, I'm going to assign that to my East Eagles Booster Club store. That's my little test store, and I'm going to assign that to there. So just select it, hit save, and now that's going to be available in my Raptor product creator for my East Eagles Booster store. And I'm not enabling it to be designed online because I have that turned off. So let's build a store. 3 different methodologies for building a store in InkSoft. And one is from scratch. So if I go over here and I go to stores and I land on stores and I want to build a store, and I hit the old plus button over here. So we hit plus. I could say get started, and then I go through a wizard-based process where we go through this whole checklist and we pick out all the settings for the store. I would obviously have to name the store, and then I'd have to include the URL I want to use. We can use that URL to get it started, but once the store is created, we can go into the admin area, and if we want to redirect the store to a domain, let's say to Stratos Financial /merch, if they create that page for me and I've got that domain, we can direct to that page. So we're not limited to just the InkSoft store directory. We could redirect this to any website, any page we want to. So that's that step-by-step process. And honestly, I don't really think you're going to use that once you create your first store, because once you create your first store, then you can just clone that store. Now, bear in mind, if you select all these settings, all of these settings can be saved as presets. So if you're just going to pop up a store real quick doing this, your previous settings are stored, but those settings are also stored if you clone a store. So if I wanted to clone a store, so let's say I go to Stratos and I pull that store up and I click on that store, I can view it, and then I can clone that store. So you see the little cloning option in there, clone it. Everything comes over, including the artwork and the products. And we'll get into that a little bit later and why that's important. All those products I curated for Stratos, they're going to be in my clone store. So I don't have to do that again. And they might not be displayed in the store itself as part of a product that's displayed in the store, but will be in my catalog for the Rapid Product Creator, which is what we use to add products to the store. But also on the artwork side of things, it will allow me to do a global art swap. So I can globally take all the products with the embroidery logo from the Stratos store and then automatically replace them with the new embroidery logo for the new tech store I built and Fortify. Cloning is a great way to do it, but now you have stored templates. And stored templates is a very fast way to create a store. If you create stores for specific vertical markets, then really your starting off point for a new store really should be cloning. You've taken a store here, you've modified it exactly the way you want it for a school store or a corporate store or a fundraising store, any other kind of specialty store. Maybe it's a store where you collect registration data for a 10K. Once you have that store initially created, then you can clone it, and you don't even have to go back to store templates. And so for the Stratos store, what I did is the template I wanted was just really clean. We have, different flavors here. So you got sports and team stores and school and education stores. Here's your corporate store themes, special events store in here, and then just a landing page. Landing page would be like your main website. If you were actually using InkSoft to make your own website, which you absolutely can do, I would probably start with a landing page. But I really like this very clean look right here. And so the one I selected was this one over here. And so I just clicked on it, and then I could put my URL in here. So we called this Stratos Financial, but I'm just going to call it Stratos for now. Call it Stratos. And I could click on this and get a preview of what the store looks like if I wanted to take a deeper dive and see what's going on. And then I'm just going to hit Create Store. So the first thing I want to do when I go into my store is I want to update the branding. That's really the first thing I'm going to do, because the branding is going to kind of change the overall visual appearance of this. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go over to Store Admin over here, and I'm going to select the little cog icon right here. And these are all my admin settings. So if I had a different person that we're going to be working with, so Martin O'Malley is now the contact, we update all this. Maybe we update all this stuff down here, address, all of that, contact information. We update that, and then we're going to save that, and then we're going to move on to store branding. And this is where I'm going to swap out the logo. So for the project, I went and created a simple little logo, vector logo, very clean, very simple logo. But I also created kind of a separate version of it that's more like an icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, I'm going to click on Replace, and I'm going to go to my store folder where I created all those assets. And it's been my experience that PNG is definitely the best file format for all these logos. When you're saving logos in InkSoft, PNG is the way to do it, because PNG supports transparency, which means that there won't be a white background behind the logo. So always recommend PNG when you're here, even though you can't do an SVG file or a JPEG. So I'm going to go over here to Stratos Financial. And the logo I'm interested in for this is just this basic, simple PNG file right here. So we're just going to click on that. And that's like your basic logo. And then for like the store icon, I'm just going to go over here, and I'm going to do the other version right here. And what does the store icon do? The store icon is what shows up in the tab in your browser. That's all it is. Now down below, you have upload image for store preview image. What I would do with that is when I'm all done with the store, I'd screen grab the store, and I'd set the pixel dimensions into 1600 by 900. I'd go into my graphics program, and I'd upload that. What does that mean? This is the preview that you see if you have a URL pasted into like Facebook or Instagram, where it provides that little preview when you hover over the URL. That's the preview image that's being pulled in. So this isn't a prerequisite. It's not a requirement, but I think in a sense, it's just kind of a classy thing to do when you're all done with the store, is put that preview image in there. What I'm going to do next is save this, and let's take a look at some store settings in here, some things that I like. Store notifications. I want to get a daily order summary. Store policies. I'm pretty comfortable with that. It's going to be a public store. Social media, I can put in all of the social media handles here, and that'll get published on the main page. Product display settings. I'm not interested in displaying the manufacturer or any SKUs. I'm not interested in any inventory. Store close page. This is going to be a temporary store. And when that store closes, I could set it to display the little fundraiser graphics image or the contact information for the store if I want to. So that's kind of up to me. And then the other thing I can do over here is the designer. This is a corporate store for an event, which in this case is going to be a 50th anniversary of this company. We don't need the designer in there, so we've got that turned off. And then order settings over here. It's an on-demand store, or it's an expected production date store. I am going to put an expected production date on this because we're closing the store on the 31st. And so that's where that message is going to come up, the store close page. On the 31st, when this store closes, no more orders are being able to be processed. That little message is going to come up, says store closed. And then what I will do is I'll have all the orders from the store in my order manager in InkSoft, and then I'll collate them into a job, do my PO with my vendors, and then get everything scheduled in for production. So I'm not requiring order approval. Shipping methods, I need to save that. So it's telling me I need to save. Shipping methods, I am going to add a shipping method. Super important. you have got to add shipping methods in order to enable commerce within the store. So if you're in the store and you can't check out, why can't I check out? Because you haven't enabled any shipping methods. So my shipping methods are going to be, you can pick up, you can ship via UPS ground, and then I'm going to do U.S. Postal Service priority mail. Hit apply. And then pickup methods. If I have a pickup method that I want to put the company address in, I can do that, but we're not doing that in this case. Checkout settings, real comfortable with everything in here. I'm not going to display an estimated delivery date, but I am going to definitely accept coupons and gift certificates because this is going to be a program that we run using coupons and gift certificates. I'm not putting any custom order fields in here, not paying any commission in here. So there we go. So why did I go through this whole exercise? Because those are my pet settings that I like for a store. And when I clone this store in the future, guess what? All those settings come with it. So really only have to do that once. The next part would just be making the store look cool. And so let's do that part. It's not going to take very long. So I'm going to go over here to Style Editor. And because I uploaded the logo, you know what's going to be showing up in here? The colors from the logo. So there's that blue from the logo, which it's pulled that into the store. Probably going to go in here and change this. We'll type in celebrating 50 years of excellence. I don't have to have this if I don't want it, but I kind of like it. And so there you go. So we got that part changed. So we're going to go down here to the next part, edit. And I don't have to have that logo in there. So we can remove it. And as soon as I remove it, it put the Stratos logo in there. But what if I didn't want the Stratos logo in there? What if I wanted to have the logo in my banner? Then I could hide it. That's a relatively new feature, but we're going to leave it in there. It looks pretty good. And we're going to go down here to this banner. And we're going to hit the edit button. This is set up as a slideshow interval. I only have one slide in here. So I don't need to have a rotational interval here. Background color for the banner is white. So if the banner doesn't reach the full width of the area, it will show white behind it. But we're going to remove this banner. And guess what I did? I did another banner for this store. And that banner, I went and superimposed Stratus Financial onto the building. And actually, that building is like Texas Partner Bank, I think. And so I went into CorelDRAW and I just masked this out, and I masked the name was on here too. Created a cool banner, but in the real world, guess what would happen? You'd already have this banner because, or a picture of the building that you'd get from the customer, and you could build a banner. There's a lot of different things you could do with the banner. You could have a bunch of images from employees. You could do all kinds of kind of neat things around that. So we've got that going. Order today. Couple things. Remember we said it's the 31st. So we need to manage the end date. So these orders have to be in here by March. So let's see. We're going to do March 31st as the end date. So hit done. That's going to reset the timer. And then over here where it says order today, we're going to say get your orders in by March 31, 2025. Do you really have to say that? Maybe. And then over here, I'm going to say each employee can redeem their gift certificate. I'm going to do that a little bit differently. I'm going to put that in a different area. But you notice when I deleted that text, it dropped that whole line out. So that looks good. And we're going to hit save and publish here. Now, this layout for product, this product placeholder layout right here, that product placeholder layout has a 4-up layout. And so that means that the thumbnails are going to be smaller. Here, let's add a product to it so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Oh, we don't have a product yet. But if we added a product, those are going to be pretty small thumbnails. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to add a new component. So in InkSoft, everything's component driven. So I'm going to go over here and go to Store Components. And I'm going to add a layout for 2-up. I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet. I haven't really decided, but I am going to drag and drop that underneath that little banner right there. And then what I'm going to also do is, don't really need the testimonial thing here, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And then the color scheme down here, we're going to go to the color scheme, and I'm going to go in here and change that to the logo colors. Looking good. Now, if you want to have the Google Maps directory to go in here, what you can do in the admin settings, you just have to go into the admin settings and enable Google Maps. If you do that, your Google Map is going to show up in here. But it looks pretty good, so I'm going to save that. And then I am going to add a CTA. And so what is a CTA? Call to action. And so I'm going to go over here to Store Components. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this new CTA. This is a new one we've added that actually has photography in it. And I created another little banner. And that banner is 500 by 250 pixels. And I created that. And I'm going to go ahead and upload that real quick. And that has the logo for the campaign. I don't need these two buttons, so watch. Backspace over secondary, that disappears. Backspace over primary. And then we're going to go over here and say 50th anniversary merch. Then I'm going to go over here and say all employees have received a gift certificate for $100 for this store. Store expires. We're going to say we probably orders must be placed by March 31. There we go. So that's where the CTA comes in real handy. And where do we want to put the CTA? Probably right above the product. So I'm just going to go over here and just put it right above the product. Hit done. And looking pretty good. One more element. We're going to get kind of custom here. So I'm going to go to Store Components, and I'm going to add what's called a content block. And a content block is basically it's an HTML editor. So what I'm going to do is say, put a thing in here that says celebrating 50 years of financial service excellence. And I'm actually going to make that a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use a little bit bigger font. That's too big. So maybe like 24. And we're going to bold that. And then I'm going to pick a different color in here. And I'll pick that blue. And then we're going to center align that. So center align it. And then I'm going to insert an image. So it's an HTML editor. So I pulled this image off the internet. And it's just a PNG file with a bunch of people celebrating. Happen to have 50 behind there. And we're going to make this big right there. And I'm going to reduce the size of that a little bit. And we're going to scoop that out of there. And get that all set up exactly. So I'm just basically, it's like a visual HTML editor right there. And maybe make that just a little bit bigger. Probably get as big as it's too big. Maybe a little smaller right there. Hit done. And there you go. That's in there. And my background's white. So if I wanted to, I could go over to edit and I could put a different background color in there. It's not going to look good with blue in there, but it might look good with this like a pale gray. Yeah, it does. So there you go. Save and publish. That's my store. That's it. I'm talking you through this, but if I was in production mode, this would be done in 5 minutes. So it's very quick and easy to deploy stores in InkSoft because of store components and store cloning, and everything's very automated. The components are very logical. They make sense. It's easy to follow. Now, what gave me a head start is I already had the logo from the customer. I produced it myself, and I already had a banner. And so that's partly what made, this go quicker is I had the graphical assets. Now we need to add products to this. So I saved it and published it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to my store admin and I'm going to upload some logos. So I'm going to go to store art and I've got some logos that I've created for this project. So I'm going to upload some print files and let's see what I've got here. So I did this cool patch. I've got a PDF file of that patch. We're going to upload that. And I've also got another couple fun little designs here. I've got my embroidery file. over here. And I've got 3 different crest logos. So I'm going to upload all 3 of those. And these are all graphics that I created in Graphics Flow. All vector graphics, look pretty cool. So we're uploading those. Got a vintage graphic, kind of an athletic graphic, and then a cool little kind of crest patch logo. And then I have an embroidery file. So we're going to go and upload art, but I'm going to choose embroidery. I'm only going to get the embroidery option if I enabled embroidery for that product when I create it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go into my Stratos Financial, and I have a DST file in here. I'm going to hit open. Now, DST files do not have any color data. They're just telling the embroidery machine what part to sew on what needle on the machine. So basically color changes is what an embroidery file that's a DST file is able to communicate to the machine. It doesn't hold color data, but it knows it's a separate color. And you can see that right here. It knows this color is separate from this one. So what we need to do is we need to assign colors. So I'm going to take this object here, which is going to be assigned to a specific needle on my machine, yet to be determined. And we hit done. And then over here, I'm going to select a blue and a dark pewter. Depends on what color we're going to do it. I think I want to do something kind of bright, maybe in the powder blue range. And I could just type in blue if I wanted to. And we'll go down here and get into that. Yeah, there we go. Blue Dawn. Perfect. Done. And hit upload. And I'm using Ackerman Isocord thread, but I could have chosen Madeira as well. And there's 4 different thread manufacturers that are available. So now I've got my art, so we can start creating some products. So what I'll do next is I'll go to Store Art. Then I'll move over to Store Products. And I'll say Add Products. I'll click on New Products. And the products that I curated and added to my collection are coming over. And then the products in my main product catalog are available here too. So what we've got over here is that quarter zip. I just added it. So let's add it. And let's add a couple colors. So I want to add the black in here and the pine. So let's go ahead and click on that embroidered logo right there. Let's move it up a little bit. And let's see what it looks like on black. Looks great on black. Not so great on the natural. So what do we need to do? Change the thread color. And that's where View Colorways is so handy, because I can just come over here and say create new colorway. And I like the blue, that's working. But for select color here, let's just do a navy. And let's switch over to Madeira. So we're using Madeira Navy. And I'm just going to type in navy. Should look awesome. Yep, it does. Save colorway. And then I need to select that product and then select the graphic. And so now I've saved that colorway on the natural color, that colorway on the black, click Create Products. And then over here, upper right, product detail. And we're going to say, we're going to sell this for $40. And then if I got bigger sizes in here, remember we disabled the 4X. So I'm going to upcharge for double, upcharge for triple. There we go. Hit done. And hit finish. So that product's available for me to load in the store. So we want to add another product, and I want to put in this kind of dressier shirt here. And we already have the right color here, and we'll just go ahead and hit add, and we'll add the product details here, $40. We're going to upcharge here to 45 for the doubles and triples. We're going to go 50 on the quads and the 5X and hit done. Got that product in there. So why is it so fast and easy to add products in InkSoft? Because I already have the products curated in my catalog, and then I have additional products assigned to this store. And so the products are just sitting there waiting for me. And over here, we'll add another product. Let's add a hat. I want the snapback trucker hat right here. And I'm going to do the navy version. So we'll do the charcoal navy. Get rid of that version. And that color should look great. Looking awesome. Great product. And we're going to charge, we're going to give them a break on that one. And then add another product. And we're going to go and do this one. And we're actually going to do the black on this one. And then we're going to add the cool laser etch logo. Create product. And we're going to sell that for a little bit more. So we're going to go 30 over there, hit finish. There we go. And price a crew neck and a t-shirt. So we'll add a product, new product, and we'll do that pigment dyed. So I'm going to type in pig right there. We'll get all the pigment dyed. So first one, we're going to do this pigment dyed t-shirt. I'm just going to only do this in one color. I'm going to do it in this blue. Do it over here. Keep life easy for me. And on this one, I'm going to do this kind of athletic look right here. And I want to do a colorway on there. So we want to take this color and make it the blue. So it's kind of a tone on tone thing. And this is a little too dark. So we're going to move this down into a lighter color so it pops. So we got a little tone on tone thing going on here. Save the colorway. And then I just have to make sure that I apply that colorway to it. Create product. And we'll do 35, 35, 40. And done. So here's what I'm doing. I'm creating like those stock products that when I clone the store, all these products could just be in that store. And then I can do a bulk art swap just to take all those laser logos and put the new one on, which is what we're going to do when we create the other store. So add products, and let's do a pigment dyed crew neck. We'll do the same thing. I'm just going to do that blue color again right there. And we're going to do this logo. And we definitely need to do a color change on this. So we're going to colorways, create new colorway. And this is going to become like a kind of a grayish color, grayish white. And I'm still digging the tone on tone look. So we're going to go save colorway. Looking good, create product. Add the pricing. I'm going $50 here. 55 and 60. Products are added. Hit finish. Now we just load the store up. Super easy. So I'm going to go over here, style editor. I've got that little block right here. Let's do the headwear first. So hat. I'm going to swap out the order. And then we come down here, do another 2 up. And we're going to go down here and do t-shirt crew neck. There's that. Looking good. We'll add another 2 up. And then manage products. And we're going to do the woven and the quarter zip. And we're going to move those up in the object order. So I'm just going to drag those up. I think I want the t-shirt and the crew neck to be at the top. And I'm going to sandwich the hats in the middle. Let's see if we like that. Save and publish. Store's done. I can send this link out. Customers checking out. They're done. That's the whole live process. But I've done all this groundwork now to create another store. That's the coolest part. And then we're going to create the other store for the other organization, which is Fortify Cybersecurity. So we've saved this store. This thing's live. It's ready to roll. Just send the link out to the customer. I'll have to get emails and names and amounts for all their employees in a spreadsheet. And then I can bulk upload those into InkSoft and create a gift certificate just for this store. And every one of those gift certificates will have its own number. And I can't set up that gift certificate so it's one-time use. So if they spend $90, they don't get to come back and spend the other $10. And if they spend $110, they can put in a credit card for the other $10. We get to keep that. Let's go back here and go to stores again. And let's make it happen. So I'm going to hit new store. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that Stratos store and we're going to clone it. So I'm just going to go over here to Stratos. And I'm just going to click on it to clone it. And we're going to call this Fortify. And Fortify. And then we're going to go over here and include products and store art. There we go. And replace art in bulk. So I'm just going to go over here and we already have this done. Let's see, what do I have here? I did an applique patch for this one. So we're going to replace that with this applique patch that I created. And so I'm going to go down to Fortify. And here's the applique patch that I created right here. So everything that had that has now got the applique patch. And we're going to stay in store art. And then over here, I have another version of this. that was already created for Fortify. Two versions of this. So one has weathered on it. And so we're going to do the weathered version. So we're going to replace that. And then down here, we're going to replace that with the other patch. You can see what I'm doing? I'm just swapping all these. Replace. Continue. Replace art. So we can do that with a printed patch, which probably look pretty terrific, actually. So replace art. There we go. Continue. And then go to store products. So there you go. All those products are updated. Now I might go in here and change the colors out a little bit and play around with that a little bit, but we're pretty much ready to roll. So what I am going to do before we even get started, let's tweak these products a little bit. So I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to go to pricing and styles and go to edit styles. And I'm going to switch that to the green and get rid of the blue. So now we got the green little applique patch there. Apply changes. Pricing, I could go and alter the pricing. And then on this one, I'm going to do the same thing. Pricing and styles, edit. We're going to go with the green over here and get rid of the blue. Really that looks pretty terrific. And save and publish. This right here probably looks terrific as is. I don't even like that product. We're going to do something different in there. And then trucker hat. Let's see what's going on over there. Pricing and styles. Make that a little bit bigger. And we're going to go to a black look here and get rid of the navy. And then the quarter. I think I'm only going to do one color on there. Although we do have black, so we're good. So products are good. So let's localize this. So products are all good. I'm going to go over here to my style editor. And we can go over here and start playing around a little bit. Well, let's do this. Let's upload the logos first. Because if we upload the logos, we'll be able to get the color out of the logo. So we're going to go to contact info and we're going to change that to Marty Martinez. We're going to go to store branding and I'm going to replace Stratos with, guess what? The logos for Fortify. So we're going to come in here and the main store logo is right here. I actually created a little icon for them too. Right here. Save that. And really don't need to change any other settings in here. And I can just go over here to Style Editor and edit this. This is going to say 20. And the colors are going to be available because it's pulling the color out of the logo. So allow me to take that banner. We're going to go down here and hit the edit button. And we're going to remove that banner and add a new one that I created, which is this one right here. There's that. And then I'm going to come down here and edit this. That doesn't change, but we are going to change this. And we're going to put in a new little CTA banner in there. And I created this little CTA banner right there. And we need to change that to the 20th. Products are looking good. And I had a better banner for this, so we're going to edit that. Manage content. So I'm just going to click on that and say replace graphic. We're going to replace it with this one. Looks good. And then this needs to say 20. And really the last thing I need to do is just change the color scheme here back to that. So let's take a gaze at this. Looking good. Looking good. Products all good. Everything's good. Banners, logos, save and publish done. That took us 7 minutes. So even building the product, so by using the cloning and having this already set up and doing the art swap, it took us 7 minutes to load that. That's how quick it is. Let's actually create another graphic because I want to create something kind of new for this. And by the way, too, before we do that, I was going to show you something really important. If you give your customer a user account, they can log in and see the store performance dashboard. And so the person that's maybe the purchasing agent or whoever's responsible for this for the marketing team can see all the activity in their store. They can only see that if you grant them access to it. Also, they can see any orders, invoices just by logging into their account. But in order to do that, you have to create a user account for them. Right now, I don't have a user account for them, but I can create one. And the way I would do that is I would go over here to marketing and user accounts, and then select action, add new user account. The most important thing when you do this is assigning them to that store. So if this is going to be the user for the store, and that store is the Fortify store, so I want to assign them to that store so they have access right here. Put their name, email. They'll get a little email that says, hey, here's your password. We are not going to give them any permission levels. The default permission level that we have here is just to go to their store performance dashboard. There's no additional permissions. So if you come back into this account and add a permission, like say store manager, they're logging into your InkSoft account. You don't want them to be able to do that. You only want them to see the store performance dashboard. So let's create a new graphic. I'm going to go into style. I'm in graphics flow. Go down to athletic crest and see what we got going on. Let's see what we got for distress. We could do a kind of a different type of theme, Gorillas theme here. We're going to say customize. And so where it says Gorillas, it's going to say Fortify. And where it says athletics, it's going to say cybersecurity. And then where it says this, we're going to say EST over here. And then we're going to say 05. And then down here, we could just say celebrating 50 years. Get rid of the gorilla. Could upload my image. So I could upload that little PNG file. And we're going to come back here. And I think I'm going to make that like a fun blue. Actually, that looks great just as it is. Could go with white in part of that. So I'm going to kind of contrast some of this with white. So the Fortify over here, we're going to make that white. And then celebrating 50 years, I think we're going to make that white too. I think I'm going to nudge this over just a tad. I think it just needs one more little nudge. So we're going to save this, and I'll just call it Fortify Crest 01. And we're going to download a PDF file. Just put it in my downloads folder. Just going to go back to my Fortify store and go down to store admin. And I'm going to go to add products. And we're just going to do this on an economy t-shirt. We're going to do Golden 2000. We're just going to keep it on gray. We're going to upload the art. It's vector art, so I can do colorways if I need to. These kind of files need to be a little bit smaller and a little bit lower. When it's more like a cross symbol to say crate. That's going to be our economy shirt, $15. And then we'll upcharge for the big ones. And then it's just a matter of adding it to the store now. So finish. Add a single component, featured product. Manage products. Add it. So there's just taking it up a whole nother level. Now we're adding additional products to the store. We added an additional graphic to the store. But what we're trying to do here is create a package for the customer that's beyond just that logos on stuff, that it's really graphics driven around their event. And in this case, 2 different events, 20th anniversary and a 50th anniversary. We spent an hour. I'm in teaching mode, and we've created 2 wonderful looking stores, and looks like somewhere around 12 or 15 products to load into them with about 7 or 8 different graphics. That's the beauty of InkSoft. And here's the thing. If you use your InkSoft and if you use your graphics flow together, doing these kind of corporate lifestyle branding type programs is quite simple, and you're absolutely separating yourself from the competition. But all the steps that you saw in this class are all the steps that you actually use to create this. So if you go back and watch the video and you follow along, you can do exactly what I did here, including adding the products, cloning, using the rapid product creator, doing colorways, loading at the store, using a content block. All of these functionalities, you have a great recording now to go back and practice this yourself. So I'm going to challenge all of you to do just that. Thank you for giving me the last hour to train you on building stores in InkSoft and creating graphics in Graphics Flow. And we will see you on the next InkSoft Academy. Thank you.